In this video guide, I'm going to discuss how you can gain a siege tank advantage in Terran versus Terran. The number of siege tanks is very important in this matchup, and you'll find that even at the pro level, and it's really true at all levels of play, especially at the pro level even, that whoever has the most siege tanks will usually win the game. Even if the number of bases are equal, army sizes are equal, units lost is equal, siege tanks are an advantage. They're just a good unit. There's nothing Terran have on the ground that are good against siege tanks. So whoever has siege tanks usually will win the game. Another thing is air superiority. If you have air superiority in equal siege tank counts, you can drop Hellbats on top of the opponent's army and destroy siege tanks. And you're going to lose all the Hellbats, but this is okay because Hellbats don't cost investment gas. And if you're playing mech in TvT, you're going to start building up a lot of extra minerals due to mules. So one way you can do this to gain an advantage is just trade your minerals for Hellbats, drop those, sacrifice the Hellbats, even if you don't trade efficiently. Trading 8 Hellbats for just 2 or 3 siege tanks, that's going to permanently get rid of however much investment, 125 per tank, that your opponent's not going to have. You're both going to have excess minerals because you're Terran and you're playing mech. If you're, these siege tanks cost a lot of investment. So anything you can do to take down your opponent's siege tank count is going to help give you a lead. So basically all you want to do is, what you'll find as a common occurrence is, let's say 2 tank lines are squared off. You'll commonly find one player will have air superiority, another player will resort to Thors or even missile turrets to defend their tank line. So what you can do is, if you have just enemy Thors, they do almost no damage versus medevacs. You could just come in and just drop, and then you can take your medevacs to safety, and you've just taken out 3 or 4 tanks. And the reason it works so well is that these tanks will kill each other with their splash damage. You can see there was 14. Just took out 2 tanks for 4 Hellbats. Efficiently, that's, if you look at the units lost, it's like, oh, well, you lost 4 Hellbats to kill 2 tanks. And that's, what, 150, or one side gets like a 75 or 100 resource advantage. But it's really a huge victory for the one that dropped the Hellbats. Actually, I dropped 800 resources. It makes the Hellbat player look like the loser, but if you have the spare minerals, you should do this strategy, because if you're on equal number of bases, there's only so much investment to go around. Especially if you're just on 2 or 3 bases, which is very common in TvT. It's very difficult to establish a 4th base when you're using a lot of siege tanks, because drops will just pick you apart and your siege tanks can't cover enough areas. So in TvT, trade minerals for investment, even if it doesn't feel efficient. I would gladly pay 400 minerals to take down a siege tank. I think that's a decent trade. And if you can take down more, which this one almost went down, it's an even better trade. And you can just keep repeating this process, and it's quite effective. As I said, Thors are just so bad at killing medevacs that wasn't a very good drop, by the way. Because what you want to do is place the drop right on top so that you get more damage out. But that's the video, and I hope that you're able to use this strategy when you're in a stalemate in TvT. You've got a ton of minerals building up, 2 tank lines are facing each other. Just load up a couple of medevacs with Hellbats and drop them on. Again, though, if your enemy is Vikings, it doesn't work out well. You do need air superiority, which these armies are very similar in cost. So actually try not to... Thors are decent in TvT, but try not to build too many, because that's 200 gas that could easily be a siege tank on a Viking. It's generally more effective. Thors do work out well once you get a big economic lead, but before then they're just not very efficient. So hope this video helps you. Try it out. Take down some enemy tanks. Keep repeating the process. You can trade a couple mules to kill a couple siege tanks, and you can repeat it a couple times. Next thing you know, you have 5, 10 more tanks than your opponent in the course of the game, and that's definitely very beneficial. So check out the blog post in the description for more strategies to increase your tank count over your opponent.